Welcome to Cosmo Times.
Today, we'll be exploring the world of theater musicals.
What kinds of musicals play in your city and what makes them unique?
Shanghai. Cosmo Times.
Welcome to this week's edition of Cosmo Times. We're filming today at Shanghai's very own Shanghai Culture Square.
This is a very famous place here in Shanghai when it comes to musical theater.
And when it comes to theater, Ban Xu, do you prefer traditional theater or contemporary style?
I really like contemporary style. Traditional theater like Shakespeare, it has its pros and cons. And in a traditional theater like the Globe, there are just so many jokes to go around.
Yeah. While playwrights like Shakespeare are known around the globe, sometimes musicals are more entertaining.
All right, let's check out this week's Word on the Street.
Well, we were asking the people of New York, Melbourne, and Shanghai.
What famous people would they want to see a musical about?
Are we famous enough to say ourselves?
Oh, I am. You?
It's time for the stars to hit the stage, the Broadway stage, that is. I'm hitting the streets of New York to find out what person people would like to have a musical made about them here in New York City.
Mariah Carey.
Maybe Beckham.
Taylor Swift.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Lauren Conrad.
She is music. She is America's national treasure.
He's been a big star, but then he chose the way of becoming a money-making celebrity.
I love Taylor Swift. I think that she's pretty cool. She's really dramatic. She's always got something going on in her life.
You know, the biggest selling female artist in history.
She was the youngest songwriter ever signed to Sony when she was 14 years old. She's always in style. She always just goes with the crowd.
He's the guy that really knew what he was talking about as far as preservation of our environment was.
So for the word on the street today, it looks like there wasn't one common answer. Just like Hollywood, there's so many stars and lots of people would like a variety of people to be in a musical that they'd create. As for me, I would do Lady Gaga. I think she has a great story and she's a really colorful character. Reporting for Cosmo Times, I'm Christy Clements, and now we're gonna go check in with Melbourne.
Melbourne has become a musical destination with many of the big worldwide tours choosing to open here. The question is, if you were to make a musical on a famous person, who would you choose? Let's find out. If you had a chance of making a musical yourself, who would you focus on? Who would be the famous person you would choose?
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman?
That's right.
Yeah, why do you like him?
Because I just saw Wolverine and I'm obsessed with him.
If you had a chance to make a musical, who would be the person you would focus on?
Michael Jordan.
Got no idea, to be honest. Probably something around Disney.
Disney?
Yeah, because it'll probably sell lots.
Oh, so you're a money man.
Yeah.
Do you have any stars or anyone?
Courtney Love.
Courtney Love?
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, I can see that.
Yeah.
I reckon a musical on Princess Diana.
Oh yeah, Princess Diana.
Yeah.
The People's Princess.
Yeah.
How would you sing about doing a dunk over Patrick Ewing? How would you do that?
I have no idea, but yeah.
That's lovely.
Thanks. I'll practice that one and get back to you. You still be here in an hour?
Yeah. So it seems a musical can be made about anybody. The problem is, not everybody wants to see a musical about anybody. So if you want to make a lot of money, maybe make it about a Disney character. If you want to make something cool, make it about Michael Jordan. Arts and Jama, reporting from Cosmo Times in Melbourne. Now back to Shanghai.
The modern musical is a very Western phenomenon, and it's rapidly picking up here in China. I'm wondering whose story the Shanghai wants to watch and sing along with. Let's find out.
周璇吧，因为他是金嗓子，而且他唱歌也很好听。周璇是一个不错的人物，因为对于他的印象就是最深的就是《夜上海》这首歌是他唱的嘛。夜上海，夜 非常想了解他的一生，如果用音乐的形式排演出来，我觉得应该是非常棒的一部音乐剧。
我很想看见李小龙一生的故事，他的故事非常的传奇，非常适合搬上音乐剧的舞台。
李小龙因为是个电影明星，观众关注度会比较高吧。
会把我小时候看的那种动画片啊，那种什么类似狮子王啊、舒塔贝克啊这种我们小时候这种记忆，把它串一起做个音乐剧，我想也蛮有劲的。
王力宏吧。因为他长得真的很帅啊。
周星驰啊，因为我从小喜欢看他的片子，我是看他的片子长大的。他的一生很传奇吧，他从小人物开始做起，然后从跑龙套到最后变成一个巨星，我觉得这是一个很有励志的感觉。
As expected, we got a whole range of answers. For me, if I were to make a musical, it would be about the director G&E. And it wouldn't just be about his visual ideas translated into theaters. His love story will also make a good plot. This is Celia Liang reporting for Cosmo Times in Shanghai.
Well, it seems like some people want to see famous people in history.
While others want to see musicals about already famous musicians using their own music.
I would want to see a musical about Shakespeare. To sing or not to sing, that would be his question.
I think he probably wants to know where he could meet some girls. You know, back then, all the actors were men. Stay tuned because when we come back,
we will be exploring some different musical shows around the world's most cosmopolitan cities.
Cosmo Times.
Welcome back.
Mamma Mia, there are so many interesting shows at this theater.
Just like Mamma Mia.
That's what I just said.
That's just what I said.
What?
Let's head over to New York City
and check out this week's City Search.
Hey, my name is Sherry Sanders and I created Rock the Audition. I would say music and musical theater is a great escape mechanism for people. To me, rock is not just rock, but it's Motown, 70s folk, rock, disco, gospel, blues, folk, anything that's popular is under the guise of rock musicals. So there's so many different styles and flavors, not just one.
Sherry Sanders is a musical theater actress who created Rock the Audition.
Baby, you won't be long, my honey. You're gonna look for me, baby.
Rock music elements are very popular in today's contemporary Broadway musicals. Rock the Audition provides performers with the tools to bring a harder edge to traditional shows. With the help of Sherry, her students have found their success on Broadway, national touring companies, and regional productions of Rock of Ages, Mamma Mia, American Idiot, Wicked, and more.
I think 90% of the musicals on Broadway are currently steeped in popular music. When that started happening in 2004, I said, well, I know how to sing popular music and I love popular music and I'm a musical theater person. So I had this great idea where I figured, you know, I might as well share what I know because I saw so many people suffering and it was something that came easy to me.
Rock my world into the sunlight. What it's got is it's got feelings in it, so you don't have to scream it.
Done, okay.
Yeah, just do it.
Point taken.
Yes, feel sexy when you sing it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Rock my world until the
Yes, that's right.
sunlight. Make this dream the
Yes.
best I've ever known. Don't be dancing in the moonlight. Take me down like I'm a domino.
I love that. Take me, yeah, right.
I'm no Broadway singer, but I think I did a pretty good job following Sherry's instruction. She made it easy and fun to add my individual edge to this song.
For shows like Les Mis and Phantom, who want to come in and go, I want to be in Kinky Boots, I want to be in Mamma Mia. I've been performing for years, but I don't know how to handle that aesthetics. Kind of have to peel off the layers that have been put on them through their training at school or through all the shows that they've done and kind of start from scratch and build up a different creature from them, not their training.
When I go in and audition for something like Oklahoma, it's been done, it's a classic, it's been done so many times that typically the artistic team has a really strong idea of what they're looking for. They want people who fit those characters and who fit the vocal style of the show. Whereas in a rock audition for a rock musical, typically a lot of them are brand new shows that have never been done before, so they don't really know what they're looking for. So it's exciting as a performer to get to go in because I go in and I'm myself.
In New York City, life is constantly changing, and the same goes for Broadway. There are dozens of new shows coming out every year. We find out what contemporary musicals offer in this theater-obsessed city. Why do you think that contemporary music has made its way into musicals?
Young people. I've enjoyed every rock musical because I certainly appreciate it. I appreciate that world on the stage that I get to be on.
Contemporary musicals are paving a new way for performers here in the city. They encourage actors and actresses to bring their own individual style to the stage, which is also essential for rocking out.
Rock the audition looks like a pretty cool way to prepare for an audition.
I could rock any audition. Did I ever tell you I took theater classes in college?
I guess that explains why you're so popular on your school's campus.
Excuse me, I was popular. I was voted most likely to appear on Broadway by my school's theater club. So there.
Oh my God, you're such a theater nerd. Let's head over to our next city search.
In Los Angeles, where we will meet a famous musical director
and hear about some of his experiences in musical theater.
As the entertainment capital of the world, Los Angeles has theaters that play musicals almost every night. Each style of musical performances is represented in the city, from classic to contemporary, structured to improv, amateur to professionals.
With a long list of musical credits, director John Rivera fell in love with musical when he was young.
I loved Stephen Sondheim. I loved his work, and so when I was growing up and I started hearing his music before I even saw any of his musicals, I was very interested in that form, and I think it's always been one of my passions as a director is to work with with musicals.
Like all survivors, I once thought, when I'm home, I won't return. But now, I'm caught, I'll never leave this town.
I love the form so much. I love the collaboration with the choreographer, with the composer, with the musical director, with the actors. I think it's so interesting because you really get. In the musical, the music really tells so much about the story, and I think that it really helps, just in the planning of the musical, you know, how moments feel just because the music tells you how that moment goes, and it's really an exciting process.
So which means you don't need to be a professional like musician or know much more about music.
I don't think so. I mean, I think what you really have is, you know, it's a sensibility. You have to be sensible, you have to be very connected to the music, and you have to feel it. You have to understand the emotional impact that the music is bringing to the show, and to be able to show that on stage. This is the music that goes with this lyric.
Yeah, so this is the lyric under
and
score.
each of the line is each of the actors.
Yes.
You know, when you're just following along the script, it just says Salani says that, Wendell says that.
You don't know
says
when
it,
they
but you don't
speak.
really feel like when that connection happens unless you're looking at the score and you sort of like go, oh, so after that then he comes here and then she continues on, and then all four of them sings together and then they split again. So you really get the sense of how the music is, you know, has been created. I'm always trying to figure out like how am I telling the story, and why is my story 10 years later different from the way that it was told before. So that becomes the challenge. But because of that challenge, and if you're successful in recreating it or trying to put your own take on it, I think it makes it
Even
very
more,
exciting,
yeah,
and it
and
becomes
more
memorable
impressive.
and then if people really connect to the story, to the way that you're telling the story, then it's even better.
John Rivera founded Playwrights Arena to produce and direct original theater works by Los Angeles playwrights. He has stuck to this mission for 20 years.
We decided that the city really needed a theater that really focused on the talents of Los Angeles, and so we created Playwrights Arena, and for 21 years now we've been working on plays, new work by original work by local playwrights.
From the past 20 years, there's still the same goal, just
Yes.
trying to support the local.
It's never changed from the day one. It's always been about creating and nurturing the work of LA playwrights, and that's always been our mandate, and we've never steered away from it, and so we've been very successful in doing that.
I'm Xiwen, reporting from Los Angeles for Cosmo Times.
So far, we've looked at some elements of musical theater in US, as well as hearing about Bai Xushu's university theater experiences.
Now let's take a look at some musical theater right here in Shanghai.
Shalom Shanghai, a play with music about Shanghai Jewish history, hit the theater last week as part of the China-Shanghai International Arts Festival. An international collaboration, the story takes place during World War II, where the Nazi regime forced the Jewish civilians to look for help outside of Europe. One of the few countries that opened their doors to the refugees was China. With more than 20,000 Jews living in Shanghai, the only city in the world where they could feel welcome and safe, nonetheless, the Nazi nightmare followed them here. The Hitler decree for the Japanese to get rid of the Jews imposed extreme horror on them yet again. And the Chinese had their own horror to face, thus a friendship of survival between two cultures emerged.
It's an intercultural play with 3 ethnic groups: the Japanese, the Chinese, and the Jews. And of course, the focus is on the Chinese and the Jews, how they helped each other in the most difficult time under the Japanese oppression.
In any good musical, you have a strong plot and catchy tunes. Music plays an essential role in every aspect of life. To have a hit musical like Andrew Lloyd Webber's, the composer must have a deep understanding of the emotions that the play wants to portray to the audience.
It doesn't have to be political in the same way. It's more emotional. It's about people loving one another. It's a combination of traditional Chinese songs, some of which are updated to be Shanghai pop music of the 30s and 40s. There's also Jewish liturgical music and dance music, party music. There's also jazz from that era. It was a very rich time in Shanghai for music, and I'm trying to bring some of that style of music to the production, but writing original songs that seem as if they could be songs that you just didn't happen to know, is the idea.
With Shanghai opening her borders for more international free trades and relations in art, finance, fashion, and culture, what does Shalom Shanghai hope to give to the people here today as the bigger picture?
We all hope at this team this story can be inspiring to people all over the world to communicate better across cultural boundaries, across national boundaries.
I think there's a hope that the international aspect of that story allows us to bring what is at least half a Chinese story to the world. The history of how the Chinese helped the Jewish refugees, and to bring that back to the West. I think there's a good chance of that doing very well in the West. Yes.
So with a little bit of song and dance, Shalom Shanghai gives the audience a blast from the past, setting an example reminding us that no matter how difficult life can be, people will always find ways to help each other, sing, and joy together. It is like the Fiddler on the Roof, but this time with an Asian touch.
Through no fault of our own, Shanghai.
So, all over the world, musical theater seems to be pretty popular.
Popular indeed. Hey, see that? You just agreed that musical theater is popular.
But that doesn't mean university musical theater actors are popular.
As president of the theater department of my university, I must rebuke your claims, Minzy.
Wow, let's check out this week's creative source.
With 41 shows hitting the runway in Xintiandi, this year's Shanghai Fashion Week is the country's biggest event in style. With a turn to local designers, featured collections come from G&E, Chu Hao, Helen Lee.
I think Shanghai Fashion Week, it is a great platform so far in China, and I think that gives a lot of young designers as a showcase platform.
Collaborations mark a new approach to Shanghai Fashion Week, with brands bringing together local and foreign designers for their Shanghai collections.
Me, I don't speak Chinese and he doesn't speak English, but we both love fashion and we have similar taste. And this is actually the meeting point of cultures. And I think fashion can bring it together.
China represents a massive force in fashion, with its local designers now attending international fashion weeks and its own local scene expanding at an incredible rate. It won't be long until Shanghai finds its place in global fashion. When can a plain t-shirt become a piece of art? Famous fashion artist Adam Sachs knows the answer. Recently, Adam brought his scissors to Shanghai along with the brand to display his unique on-the-spot fashion.
And we're giving away promotional shirts to girls walking by, and one girl was like, "This is a cool shirt, but would you mind cutting it like the one on the rack?" And so I took a couple snips into the shirt and I looked up and there was 50 people watching me, and I was like, I fell in love with it instantly. So I basically did exactly what you just saw 12 years ago.
Adam can transform a t-shirt into a must-have piece for anyone's wardrobe. This isn't Adam's first encounter with fame, as he's worked with such celebrities like Katy Perry and Mariah Carey. Adam Sachs' style gives us something to look forward to for the upcoming fashion season.
So it seems like we've learned a lot about culture in this episode.
It's important that men sees culture, so in the future she won't offend any former famous amateur actors.
Oh, come on. I was just giving you a little hard time.
Oh, it's okay. I was trained to take criticism, although that never happened. I won't take it personally.
Oh, thank you. All right. Be sure to check out some musical theaters in your area.
And we'll see you next time.